5.1d, multi-step conversion. In certain cases, we may not know the conversion factor between two units, but we can convert to an intermediate unit in order to get our desired unit. So, to do this is a two-step process. So, say we have a measurement, call it measurement 1. What we're going to do is convert from, and we don't have a direct conversion factor from measurement type 1 to measurement type 3. What we're going to do is really convert from 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3. So it's just doing the same conversion strategy of multiplying by this ratio, this proportion of converting to over converting from. We just do this multiple times with an intermediate measurement. So let's try this out in example 1. We're going to convert 23 centimeters to feet. So we don't have a direct conversion factor for centimeters to feet, but I do have a conversion factor for centimeters to meters, and I also have one for meters to feet. So I can go from centimeters to meters to feet. So we start out with our measurement of 23 centimeters. And I'm going to set up my first multiplication, my first proportion I multiply by is going to be converting to meters, our intermediate unit. So we have our convert to over converting from, so meters over centimeters, and there's 1 meter for every 10 centimeters. So that's the conversion factor. So now, once I multiply this, you see that the centimeters will cancel and I'll be left with meters after this conversion factor. Well, why don't I save a step and then multiply by the proportion that will get us from meters to feet? So pretending that I'm now, after this step here, I now have units in meters. So now what I'm converting from is meters, and what I'm converting to is feet. And from before, the conversion factor is 3.28084 feet for every 1 meter. So now I'd be in feet. At the end, I've converted to feet, which is what I'm looking for, centimeters to feet. So now I can carry out both of these multiplications. So the first multiplication I'll just do here, it's going to be 23 divided by 10 meters. And we'll keep this the same, 3.28084 feet over meters. 1 meter, sorry. And carrying this multiplication out, I end up with 2.3 times 3.28084 feet. So here you see my centimeters canceled at the beginning when I did that first multiplication. Now you see my meters cancel. So I'm left with feet as an answer. And when you type this into your calculator, you get 7.5459 ... feet. Huge decimal, but we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So our answer is just going to be 7.5 feet total. Let's go through another example of this intermediate measurement that we're going to be using. So let's convert from 7 inches to centimeters, rounding to the nearest tenth. I don't have a conversion factor between inches and centimeters, but I do have a conversion factor going from inches to feet, from feet to meters, and from meters to centimeters. So this is going to be a 3-step conversion, kind of a big conversion. So I'm going to turn my inches into feet, turn my feet into meters, turn my meters into centimeters. So just like before, we always write our measurement out first, And our first conversion is going to be feet on top and inches on bottom, because feet is what we're converting to and inches is what we're converting from. We have 1 foot for every 12 inches. That's our conversion factor. Now let's set up our next conversion. We're working in feet and we now have to get to meters. So feet is what we're converting from and meters is what we're converting to. Remember, after this line, pretend like we're working in feet. So look like after we do this first multiplication, we're in the world of feet now. We're using feet. So the conversion factor between feet and meters is 1 meter for every 3.28084 feet. And then finally, we want to convert from meters to centimeters. And there's 100 centimeters for every meter. That's our final conversion. So, working this out, we do the first multiplication, cancel the inches, so we're left with 7 over 12 feet over 3.28084 feet in meters. And we have 100 centimeters over 1 meter. Those stay the same. So then multiplying this out now, we get 7 over 12 times 3.28084, which ends up being 39.37008 times, and this is in meters now, times 100 centimeters over meters. So now when we compute this, the meters cancel. And we end up with 700 over 39.37008 centimeters, which is actually 17.7 repeating centimeters. This rounds up to 17.8 centimeters when we round to the nearest tenth.